In Russia, LMG shoots you. Welcome to the RPK.
No sleep till!
Hello, I'm Raging Amish, and this is the RPK in Black Ops. Admittedly, I had never heard of the RPK before this game. The weird thing is, I have a hunch that the majority of the community still doesn't know the name of this gun. Why? Because no one frickin' uses this thing.
And that's the way, I like it.
Every video game has weapons that are entirely usable, but are rarely seen. The RPK fits in this seldom used category. I know that most people do not like the RPK. So what I'm about to say will come as a shock. I like this gun. I like it to the point that I'm curious as to why we don't see it more. I think I know the answer already, but we'll save that for later. For the moment, let's cover what the gun can do. Unlocked at level 6, the RPK is fully automatic. This LMG fires at an average rate of 750 RPM, putting it on par with the HK-21. The mag size is good, holding a healthy 40 rounds. Not only is the mag size decent, but the starting ammo supply is also big, at 160 rounds. The damage on the RPK is solid, coming in at 40 damage per shot at all ranges. This means the RPK will always be a 3-hit kill to the body. If you're lucky enough to hit the head, the weapon becomes a 2-hit kill. The damage is good. This is one of only a handful of guns capable of a consistent 3-hit kill at a distance.
Very shagadelic, baby, yeah!
Like most LMGs, the RPK has high penetration power. I've heard a rumor that Treyarch screwed up the programming for the penetration power. Supposedly, high penetration power is the same as medium penetration. I can't confirm this, as I've only heard it through the grapevine. I'm gonna give Treyarch the benefit of the doubt and say they've caught this and already patched it. But hey, I could be wrong. Besides, it wouldn't matter if the penetration is medium or high. Hardened is a rotten fit on this LMG, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. In the past 30 seconds, I've used the words penetration, hardened, and rotten. I feel so dirty.
Right.
Anyway, the crosshairs on the RPK are identical to the HK-21. The RPK is actually a bit better than the assault rifles when it comes to firing from the hip. Try this gun out with steadying, you'll have some fun. The raise and drop times are as follows. The RPK raises in 0.95 seconds and drops in 0.7 seconds. The gun is overall sluggish when switching between weapons, so keep this in mind. The ADS time is also slow, at 0.35 seconds. This ADS time is typical for the LMGs. The gun is incredibly sluggish. With that in mind, Sleight of Hand Pro is a good choice, as it will speed up your reaction time when aiming down the sight. Up next, we have the reloads, which are again slow. The default reload time comes in at 4 seconds, and if empty, the mag reloads in 5.5 seconds. These reloads flat out stink.
Even Stink would say that stinks.
Make sure to include Sleight of Hand or extended mags in your class setup. Extended mags reduces your number of reloads, and Sleight of Hand cuts the reload times in half. Either works. Finally, we've got the recoil, which on the RPK isn't exceptional. To start, the recoil profile is moderately high. The gun has a value of 70 to the sides and 15 to 60 upwards. The RPK is somewhat similar to the M60 because the kick has a net up direction, but is more likely to lurch from side to side. Countering the recoil profile is a center speed of 1500. This value is at best average. If the RPK had the option for a grip, I'd probably advise it. Remember how I said I'd touch on why people don't like the RPK? Well, here it is. I think the number one turnoff for most people is the gun's high kick. Treyarch seems to have a knack for making guns unpopular by giving them too much kick. You could say they did it again.
Oops. I did it again, baby.
Maybe it's because I played with the gun for so long, but I honestly got used to it. I like this LMG's power up close. The RPK's only real weakness is at range, where you need to learn how to burst fire. The kick becomes far more manageable. If you're not digging the RPK's kick, then I'd say go try out the HK-21. The gun is very similar, but with better accuracy. Next, we have the irons. These sights are weird. Are they clean? Sure, but the front sight moves a lot relative to the back sight. At first, I hated these irons. but with time I got used to them. You really are better off if you can get by with the iron sights, because then you free up your attachment selection. Speaking of which, up next is the attachments.
Isn't this magical?
Extended mags. This is arguably the best attachment on the RPK. Now, scratch that. It is the best attachment on the RPK. Said attachment gives you a drum magazine, which ups your capacity to 80 rounds. Extended mags reduces the number of times you have to reload, which is invaluable. I've heard a rumor that this attachment actually slows your reloads, but I can't confirm or deny this. Extended mags gives the RPK the big mag we've come to know and love on LMGs. This attachment is perfect for a support role, where you are constantly gunning down enemies. Dual mags. The RPK is the only LMG to feature dual mags. When I first saw this, I thought, whoa, dual mags on an LMG? 2 spare mags? Quicker reloads? Sign me up. I'll take that. Well, it turns out Treyarch was just toying with us.
You know, this is causing me serious psychological harm.
Dual mags gives you alternating quicker reloads, but does not offer 2 additional mags. It's hard to argue for dual mags when you consider you have the option for extended mags. This attachment really is unnecessary. Red dot sight, reflex sight. Both of these sights replace the irons with the red dot. As I said earlier, I think it's best to learn how to use the irons, so I don't advise these attachments. Still, I will say that the red dot sight definitely helps you take advantage of the RPK's long-range power. The red dot sight is the Soviet design. The area you can see through is quite large, which definitely makes placing shots at long range easier. While the red dot sight does have its uses, the reflex sight doesn't. The reflex sight narrows your sights too much. Try the red dot out if you like, but leave the reflex alone. ACOG scope. Me. Next. Infrared scope. Wow. I'm just at a loss for words. Someone at Treyarch got paid to design this thing. Wow. Just wow.
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
I need to get your minds off that sight. So let's take a look at the perks. For the blue tier, I advise Flak Jacket or Scavenger. You are slow with an LMG in your hands, so Flak Jacket will prevent unnecessary explosive death. Scavenger is also a decent fit. You will probably end up spraying a bit with this LMG, so 160 rounds may not cut it. More importantly, you can mess around with your tactical grenades and really clear some rooms when you stun your opponents. For the red tier, the choice is simple. You're going to need Sleight of Hand. The RPK features a slow aim down sight time and slow reloads. Sleight of Hand cures both of these ills.
Yeah, baby!
Finally, for the green perk, I say this is decided by your blue perk. If you're using Flak Jacket, then I'd advise Tac Mask. Specifically, you want the pro version. The resistance to tactical grenades will really come in handy when you consider how slow you are. You'll essentially have a tank class. If you're using Scavenger, then I'd say go with Hacker. Tac Mask is still a solid choice, but I found Hacker was more useful, since you can see equipment coming and will know exactly where to use your tactical grenades. Overall, the perk selection really is a good reflection on the RPK itself. This gun is more or less designed for brute force. The powerful shots and big mags are designed for pay and spray type players. Few guns can kill with 3 shots at range, so the RPK really is something special. Before I start bringing this review to a close, we need to take a look at zombies. So, let's do it. Right now. The RPK in zombies is one of the best weapons you can hope to land. The rounds are strong, the mags are big, and the ammo loadout is huge. The gun is flat out sexy! The base version is everything you could hope for early on. You can get by with this weapon up until the late teen rounds. It's that good. When you put this in the Pack-a-Punch, you get the R115 Resonator. The gun gets bigger mags, more ammo, and stronger shots. You can't go wrong throwing the RPK in the Pack-a-Punch. You will rake in the points with this weapon. I really wish I had more to say, but the simplicity of the RPK in zombies is part of the beauty. The gun is powerful. Be glad when this pops up in the mystery box. With zombies done, that brings me to the end of the RPK. This gun is solid. I firmly believe that. I think the biggest hurdle for this gun is getting used to the kick. I know many abhor the RPK, so I know I probably sound a little crazy at the moment. Try this gun out if you haven't already. For a few of you out there, this LMG will become a new favorite. For the rest of you, well, I understand if this gun just isn't your thing. That concludes my review of the RPK. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you join me next time when I'll be covering C4. Until then, I say have a good time from Russia.